Welcome to Recross the Paths, where we celebrate the Cube community one conversation at a time. Today, I get to sit down with my friend Maggie. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
It is so exciting to, as we were talking about before, just to sit down and talk about Cube for a little bit. And I'm particularly excited to talk about this one. I feel like I have to offer, this is like the radio disclaimer at the front, where it's like, so-and-so is a sponsor of this, or however. It's like, your cube is the one cube that I got a trophy pin in at Cube for a Cause in the fall of 2025. So I need to mention that up front so my biases are clear.
I forgot about that. Congrats on the dub. Congrats.
It worked well for me. I had a good time.
Nice.
It sounds like I unfortunately dream crushed a couple of people trying to find their way into top 8, and I didn't know.
You know what? It's their fault. They weren't good enough. Like, that's, what are you going to do about it? Lose?
No.
You got to crush them.
It was an amazing pod, and we had a blast playing your cube. Well, Maggie, as we jump into getting to talk about this, I'd like to ask, just to help people get a sense of where you're coming from and how you're engaging with the game. Why Cube?
First of the pod.
We did it.
We did it. We broke the seal. I took a huge break from the game after Journey into Nyx came out. I think I went to like the Cons of Tarkir pre-release, but I didn't play Magic. I just moved to Philly. I took a huge break, and I came back and I didn't really own anything. I tried playing Commander, and I came back during like Lord of the Rings. So that's like a pretty long break from the game.
And what a time to come back too.
Yeah, what a time to come back. I mean, I love Lord of the Rings. I love the books. So I thought, like, this is neat. This is cool. And it's just turned into like a monster, and the worm has sort of turned on Universes Beyond, it seems a little bit. But Cube, I just kind of fell into it. I met a couple of, and I'm going to do a lot of, I apologize ahead of time, I do a lot of shout outs. I love to shout people out. I love hearing my name and other people, like people saying my name. So like shout out Parker, shout out Roja at the Philly Cube community, just falling into like meeting these people randomly on a Wednesday. I knew what Cube was. I played Cube, before I left. I played a pretty terrible old school vintage Cube where I was made fun of for passing Mox Sapphire for Manticore, which was like really dumb, but I didn't really know what I was doing.
Was it Masticore?
Yeah, Masticore. Sorry.
Yeah.
This was like, Masticore and Triskelion were like the vintage Cube hitters back then. Absolutely.
That's so good.
Yeah. Just some kid who has no idea what he was doing. At the time it was him, but now it's them. But yeah, I just like thought these people were really cool. They were very kind to me, and I played a really fun cube of cards I'd never played with because it was like a classic Eldraine cube, like the first set, and I loved it. And I decided to keep coming back, and it inspired to build my own cube. And I love talking to people. I love getting together with people. I love the physical aspect of Magic, and Cube brings 6, 8, whatever number of people together to hang out for 3 hours, 4 hours in a night, and you get to test your drafting skills, your deck building skills, and your skills in the game. And you also have to be like nice. You have to like be in a social environment with people and make friends. And I love it. I think that's really great.
Yeah, I remember hearing a musician, he was giving a masterclass talking about how you make it as a musician, and that was like the number one thing. He's like, musicianship is one thing, but you have to be like a palatable person. Yes. Like you have to get along with the people around you so they ask you back.
Yeah. And I, again, shout out to the Philly Cube community. Like we have some heavy hitters. Like we have people that are like have become some of my favorite people in my life currently, and people who have helped me through hard times in my life, through a particularly difficult year, with this year being my first year of transition. Just like I have like such a wonderful support structure through Cube that it has changed my life irrevocably, and I love it, and I love everyone here.
Yeah, that was a really neat experience when we got to travel through Philadelphia and got to spend some time with you and the friend group there. Like to go to Cube Night where I think it was 3 full pods, and even 1 or 2 of those pods were oversized even to accommodate.
Yeah.
Like you said, just really encouraging to have that kind of buzz of people just, pull up a chair, hop on in, let's make it happen.
Get in there. Yeah, people, it's mayhem sometimes, and that's great. It's Philly. Like, we love it. And
it's a positive mayhem.
It's a very positive. It's a good mayhem. It's like a Go Birds mayhem. And we made sure to like really shout it out, like Cade and Bones are going to be there. You guys got to show up. They cannot win. And I think you guys did well, which was unfortunate for the Philly Cube community.
We did our best. I got to play Roja's Rusty Cash Box of Goblins, which is a wild experience. That was so fun.
She's been on the show, right? She's talked about it, right?
Yes.
That is one of my favorite cubes of all time. I love that cube.
It's like emblematic of the variety of flavors, right? That when you think of cube, you talk about your quintessential vintage cube before, and then you think of something like the Rusty Cash Box of Goblins. It's like, this is polar opposite, even though it's the same language.
Yeah.
It's really amazing.
Absolutely. And every time I play it, I end up building some like synergistic, like junky little deck that does pretty well, and I end up losing to the one person that drafted goblins. I was like, okay, that's fine. Yeah.
I don't want to put Roja on blast here, because that was my experience as well.
Absolutely.
I remember being told at the front end, like, don't worry, it says goblins on the box, but like goblins aren't really a huge thing. And so like I kept passing goblin cards and not thinking of it, and I just got demolished by the goblins deck.
The one player who's like, I need to take all these goblins and I win, and you're like, well, I guess my Essence Reliquary is no good to this. Like,
so, yeah, like it does not matter that I'm looping these little things. My opponent has Door of Destinies, and
which shout out Door of Destinies. That card rips so hard. That's so cool. Yeah.
Well, hey, and we're
I'm doing a spoiler-free draft this weekend, so I've avoided as many spoilers as possible.
I'll censor this part
for the viewer, for the listener. Awesome.
Yeah, this will come out like after the pre-release anyway, but still.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, again, thank you to Roja for that experience, and to you for hosting us there and guiding us around the city. It was really a treat.
Awesome. I'm glad you had a good time.
Well, so that we don't pick on other people and their cubes, let's pick on you and your cube. Before we talk about, I love this title, Twilight, A.K.A. the cube version of the Twilight Saga New Moon soundtrack, I do want to ask, what is your favorite track on that soundtrack?
I'd have to say it's like a tie between a couple of songs. I really love it. It is like moody and very like adolescent. It's great. Like it's a gloomy day right now in Philadelphia. I was listening to it before we started, and I was like, this hits so hard. This is so good. But I'd have to give it to the Likely Possibility. It's probably my favorite song on the album. And then OK Go has a song on the album that I really, really enjoy.
They do.
Shooting the Moon.
Yeah.
Really, really great song. One of my favorite songs. I wish it was on karaoke list, but it's a little too niche. A lot of these, all these songs were recorded for the soundtrack, and like Twilight just had like really great soundtracks. Like the first one, everyone remembers Decode, one of the best Paramore songs of all time, recorded for the soundtrack, was unavailable to stream or for a while because like rights issues with soundtracks are weird. I own this soundtrack on vinyl, and the way I got it was super hard to get. It has only been printed once. It's kind of expensive. I got it on the cheap from someone on Facebook Marketplace, and when I showed up at their house, I was like, this is like $125 record. Like, you don't have to let this go right now. I just wanted to let you know because I feel bad paying $25 for it. And the woman was like, no, it seems like you really like it, and you're being like really honest with me, so take it. It's all yours. And like, it's like the jewel of my vinyl collection because like, of course I have to own this. Like, I love it.
It's so fun, and I appreciate that. Like you said, it is kind of a niche soundtrack. Like, I know it was a popular film series, but to have something like this, you're like, this is special to me in this way that perhaps not for many other people. Like, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's very special to me. Like, it goes into sort of the theme of the cube that is like nostalgia, but like not a time capsule. It is more like different stuff put together, like feelings, like things that evoke memories. Music and smell can like help you evoke so many memories, and things kind of get muddled together in memory. Like, memory is messy. Yes. And for me, it's not a time capsule because it's not like a very specific point in time. I try not to have very hard edges or very hard like cutoffs. It's more like if you were playing back then, you might be like playing standard or putting F&M decks together, and also playing like modern or legacy, or playing like early commander, and like all these cards were in front of you or in decks that you were playing, so they all just kind of mix together. Like, you're at the same game store, you're playing, I don't know, Flicker Wisp in some commander deck, but you're also playing Huntsmaster of the Fells, at F&M that weekend. Yes. So that's how kind of like these all feel so similar because they were all in decks I was playing in different formats at the time. It's like the time I was playing Magic the most competitively, not good at it, but but
that's never
not
a prerequisite.
Well. Yeah, not. But I was playing it. I was at shout out Gameology in California. I was there every week, multiple times a week, playing Magic in every way I possibly could afford because I loved it, and I love it. I still do.
Well, let me make sure before we dive too deep into details, I want to make sure that we have a context for the cube we're talking about. Maggie, would you be willing to give us the elevator pitch for Twilight here?
Sure. Twilight A.K.A, the cube version of the Twilight Saga New Moon soundtrack, is a vibes-based nostalgic cube. For pre-fire design, 1-for-1 magic, where 2-for-1s are king, where Huntsmaster of the Fells rules the land. It's the land of 4-drops. It's the land of, like, top decks and fundamentals. And I love it. And you should play it.
I did. It's great. And listeners should play it too.
Yes.
So this really highlights, you mentioned with nostalgia, there's a quote on your overview that I really resonated with. You said, I wanted it to feel like a soundtrack, different pieces flung together to make an amalgamation of memory and set a backdrop for nostalgia. Like you were kind of describing that, putting these pieces together. What does that kind of look like practically? Like, was it just like, I remember this card, so it's going in?
Sure, I remember this card, so it's going in, but it also looks like other people sharing their memories of this card. Other people, when they look at a card in the cube, they're like, oh, I was like a child and I played this random like Lifebane zombie from like a starter deck and I like this card was cool and it's like a beater in this cube and like they tell you a story about when they played it. Maybe they played it with their brother or their sister, or maybe they played it wrong because they didn't know what intimidate meant or whatever. Like I think cubes are kind of a soundtrack, but we all make them. We all put songs we didn't make together to fit a vibe, to fit a feeling. It's all title tracks, it's all feelings and vibes and just good energy. I don't know how to say it any better than that.
Does the sense of going by feel overlap some with your sensibility for cooking, or is that a different pursuit for you?
Absolutely. With cooking, it can be vibes based, but if it's supported by fundamentals, you can make really beautiful things. Like if you understand, like I want to create this dish, I want to use these ingredients, I need to follow some basic fundamental rules for how to make these ingredients, like chicken, work. I need to cook it to a specific temperature to make it edible, but I can also play with all of the things that like I can make it Moroccan by using these like Moroccan spices, and like I could take this piece of chicken and turn it into something Italian with like some heavy cream, something really, really hearty and delicious for like a rainy day or something. Like the fundamentals are the backbone, and then the vibes are just like, how are you feeling? Like, what do you want to try? Do you want to throw some hot sauce in here? Like, give it a shot. The only person who's gonna like hate it is yourself. It's the only way you get better.
I love that. I love that sensibility. So, speaking of, rainy day, was this like an angsty day project? Like you're listening to the soundtrack, it's like, I need to build a cube. Like, how did this come about?
Sure. I actually don't remember why I chose the soundtrack in particular. Like I owned it on CD back when it came out, and I would drive around in my parents' like Nissan Sentra, and it was given to me by like a girl I was dating at the time. And I really got into it. I really enjoyed it. And I would listen to this in my CD player or on my Zune. Shouts out Zune.
Also rest in peace, I think.
Also rest in peace to the Zune, which I think got the short end of the stick here. I think we should have given it a chance, honestly. But I would listen to it while I was like searching through cards, through whatever, before Scryfall, whatever we used back. Gatherer, we
Probably
used to use like MTG Salvation forums, like looking for cards to build commander decks. I would list that music was the backdrop for me, like feeling creative and like reading Star City Games articles on like some junk to take to FNM that maybe you could go like 2-1 with or whatever. So when thinking of nostalgic, I think of something that makes me nostalgic for that era, for like 2009, 2010 Maggie. Like this is like was on repeat for me as an album, as a soundtrack.
So was it like from the beginning, were you setting out to do something nostalgic? Was it like, this is something the Playgroup doesn't have?
Yeah, I think I was setting out to do, I think the initial idea was to make a cube with like cards I really liked from when I played with some newer cards, and that didn't really work because I was buying old cards and I had like bought some like Lord of the Rings commander decks and some packs from like newer sets, and I was like, oh, these cards are cool. I could just kind of like build with what I have and then build it over time and just see what's good. And that was like cool. Like for those that were around for the first run of Twilight, it had like fourth Aerolingus in it. Like I just owned one. I was like, this card's good. And
well, that's not wrong. It is
no,
a good card.
Yeah, it was. I think Parker played it, and he was like, "Don't do this." And I was like, "You're right, I won't." And I cut it. The original idea was just like new cards and old cards, but I realized new cards are too good, and old cards kind of rip. So, and some of those things are still there, like Fairy Seer is in the cube because I like it. I like it. I don't think it's too powerful. No one really plays it too much. I think it could get cut, but it makes Spellstutter Sprite a little better, and that's fine.
And anything we can do to make Spellstutter Sprite more appealing.
I mean, I doubled up on it. I loved it so much.
Yes. Well, yeah, we can talk about that right now.
Yeah.
There are a couple of things that you've chosen to duplicate along the way in the list. How did you choose those, other than them just being very cool?
Yeah, the obvious one is like Squadron Hawk. It doesn't work unless you have like multiples. Esper Stoneblade and like Solar Flare and all these other decks, you know, that were banned when Jason Mind Sculptor and Squadron Hawk, one of the first like standard bans. Squadron Hawks are just like an easy include they're just awesome. But some other stuff, like I broke on Delver because I felt Delver wasn't really that great as a one of. So I thought, hey, if someone's lucky enough to get 2 or 3, it's just way better early. And since I've done that, the Is It Tempo deck has gotten so much stronger. And I think one of the things that made me do this was I played Museum of Modern Bones' Cube, and he has like a ton of singleton breaks, or like a lot of them, right? At least the last time I played
there are several that are, for sure. A couple up to 4 ofs.
Yes. So I thought, like, I'm already doubling up on lands. I've already got like 2 sets of shock lands, 2 sets of fetch lands. Like, I want the mana to be incredible. I want you to cast your spells. And like, I want the cards that are important to me, like Delver of Secrets, to be really good. I doubled up a little bit on white removal for a while. Like, there's still 2 Journey to Nowheres. There used to be 2 ousts, but I think removal has gotten to a point in the cube that it's good enough that I can go down a little bit, and white removal back then wasn't incredible. So just giving white some more tools I think is really good, because it can be kind of weak. It's really great now. Champion of the Parish is the newest singleton break because I love this card. I played humans in FNM. It's awesome. So far, nobody's really taken advantage of it, but I've only gotten to the table. I actually played it today. I played Twilight today. We fired it this morning. Yeah, we fired it this morning, and I got some great data, and I'm like so jacked.
That's like quite the preparation for a conversation like this. Like,
and it just
fresh
happened
off the draft.
Yeah, it was just an ad hoc. Like, we have this thing we do called Saturday Morning Breakfast Cube, and it's only like, you know, for the real movers and shakers, the real cool folks get invited to it. You know, not to be exclusive. Sorry, Parker, but like, you know, it's just like a morning thing. We get coffees, we cube. I went 0-3 and I got really mad, but you know.
But we learn.
We get better. Yeah, I did that. What else? I don't know if I've broken singleton on anything else.
Faithless Looting, perhaps.
Oh, yes. I just love Faithless Looting. That's a very vibes-based. Like, I want there to be 2 Faithless Lootings. I think it's so good. It's so powerful. And it's really great with, like, Unearth, which is my favorite card ever printed.
And I think it can be helpful. You know, I've seen this in some other projects, like you mentioned with some that Bones has worked on and many other folks. Being able to highlight some of those themes, something like Delver of Secrets or Champion of the Parish, where it's like, this is a style of play that you really want to have multiples of this effect. One Delver is cool when it flips, but you really want to draw that more than one game.
Yeah, and you want to increase your chances of drawing it early. A late Delver is not nearly as good as a Delver on 1 that you protect, you know?
Right.
Which my friend Juniper built this like really incredible Is It Delver tempo deck that used really, really cheap interaction, just like how you expect Delver to play in like Legacy, but just protecting a 3-2 all game until you're dead. It's really great.
A tale as old as Innistrad.
Absolutely.
So you mentioned toward the front there that this isn't really a time capsule cube. You know, it's trying to capture a feeling of an era. But how do you evoke the nostalgia you're after without locking into a particular time period of the game?
I think because I go like older than when I started. I have like Fire Ice, which was before I started playing the game. I think that creates nostalgia for like everyone. But I don't know. I think I have like a definite ending point for the cube, which is Born of the Gods, with some exceptions. I don't know. I think it's really hard for me to answer that question because, like, if you play it, you feel it. I don't know. I find this one really hard. I'm really sorry.
No. I recognize that can be a challenging question.
Yeah.
This is a vibes-based cube, as you suggested. It's a lot of how you feel. Like, you look at a card and you just know this is what I want or this isn't what I want.
Yeah.
That can be tough to quantify.
Absolutely. I think in gameplay, it feels like old Magic. It's pretty fair. Like, the creatures aren't insane. Some of them are really good. Like, FTK is, like, great. It's, like, not as good now. Like, no one's playing Flametone Kabu anymore. They're all playing like, Pyrogoyf. They're wrong. They're absolutely wrong. But it's a fair cube. Like, this sort of gameplay doesn't really happen anymore. Where, like, Blade Splicer would be so much stronger now than it is back then. And it's still very strong. But I think, like, the style of Magic that you play in Twilight is different from, like, a cube that's using, like, newer cards that have a lot more text. These are very simple cards. I think Abyssal Persecutor is, like, simple. It is a flying trample 6/6. Can't win the game. Your opponents can't lose the game. But surprisingly just like one of the most deadly cards in the cube. I've lost to it so many times. It's not like a testament to its strength because I lose like a lot, but I think that like, a card like Skin Render is one of my favorite cards in the cube, and it's essentially a worse Ravenous Chupacabra, but it's like, it's not as good, but in this cube it feels just as powerful.
It's so evocative too.
It's so evocative of the era. So like Skin Render versus Ravenous Chupacabra. I've heard people who hate Ravenous Chupacabra love Skin Render when they're so similar to each other. There's just more space for like things to go wrong, I guess, because it's not as good against like an Inferno Titan as it is against a Pack Rat or something. I think because the removal is so weird. Like it can be very powerful. Like Dismember is just insanely powerful, but most of it, 2 mana removal is like limited, narrow. And your 3 mana removal is going to be a lot more open, but you're spending 3 mana. Like, Vindicate is very powerful, sure, but, you want to spend 2 or 1. Tragic Slip is kind of tough to make work. And I think there's a lot more, like, downside. Cards have downsides. They don't have them anymore.
Yeah, that certainly feels like kind of a lost art.
Yeah. I think Stormkirk Noble is a weird card. Sometimes you just hit it. You're playing against a player playing humans and they can't do anything about Stormkirk Noble. Mm-hmm. And it gets big. And it's like not a great card, but cards were like far more narrow back then if they wanted to be cheap. Ragavan is like way better than every 1-drop here, but yeah. I think Stormkirk Noble still has some things to say.
And some of the 2 and maybe 3 drops even.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like embracing some of the downside of some of these cards, that there's risks to playing them. The floors aren't always as high. Mm-hmm. Would that be a fair assessment? I
think so. Like Lee of Sky Knight, I think it's a really great card, but if you're playing against someone who has Arc Trail, then you should just pack it in. Like, it's all over. Arc Trail's incredible.
Let me strike the next thing I'm going to say, because it has to do with a set that you don't want to know anything about.
Tell me about it. No,
secrets.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, no. I think nostalgia is like in the eye of the beholder, of the nostalgia.
Nostalgia's in the eye of the nostalgia.
Yeah,
let me write that
absolutely.
Down. So Maggie, how do you approach making changes? Like, what would make you consider an edit to a project like this?
The cube has changed a lot. It can get weaker and still be the same cube. It can get far, far stronger, which right now I think it's the strongest it's ever been. For a long time, Grave Titan and Inferno Titan were like soft banned from the cube because they are just incredibly powerful. But I just realized like I just want to let loose the dogs of war. Let it go. I call it like Sigma Twilight, the most like degenerate version of it. There are so many changes one can make. I thought of changes today where I think I really want to support Reanimator a little more, and I pushed it, and I want to continue pushing it. I want to add something like Through the Breach and Woodfall Primus to make Black-Red Reanimator a thing. And it's very fair. Like, if you ramp into it, Woodfall Primus on turn 4 with Through the Breach is like so interruptible, can be answered, but still very powerful, and it still feels fair. A friend of mine said like Kiki Jiki could exist in this cube because there's no way to like cheat it out. Like if you do it on turn 6 with a Zealous Conscript on the board, like, you kind of deserve to win, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think you earned it.
Like, you don't have any fast mana. You don't have any of these particularly cheaty things. Like, there's some reanimation to be done. I actually got to be on the receiving end of Unearth Scab Ruinator.
Beautiful.
You know, it's like, this can happen. But it's not like people are playing to these, I don't know if you want to even call them degenerate type combos, but it's like nobody's cheating ahead on those sorts of resources.
Yeah, you have to earn it. You have to draw it. There's one tutor, couple pseudo tutors in the cube, but they're not great. Fauna Shaman, the other side of Garruk Relentless, I just realized today, has a tutor effect. I never knew. It always just like fights something and then dies. Like, sure. Like, someone reminded me, like, yeah, it does that. It tutors. Like, oh, that's incredible. And then Green Sun Zenith. There used to be more combos in the cube. I kind of cut them because the enablers are awkward. I don't really want to have Malera.
Sylvok Outcast, I think.
Yes, Sylvok Outcast. I don't really want her in here because she doesn't do anything outside of.
Right. It makes skin render way worse.
It makes skin render way worse. You know, and I had for a while Anafenza Treekin Spirit or Kin Tree Spirit in here. For a similar effect, but I felt like it didn't really fit the vibe. People weren't excited about it, and people did combo off with a sack outlet, that and any persist creature, and they like were able to pop off, and that's cool and that's fun. But I think I like more like Nightshade Peddler. Like, I love this card. My friend Annie, shouts out Annie, said like bring it back. It used to be in the cube as sort of a combo with Cunning Spark Mage, and in today's draft, Eric with a Q, shouts out. He put together these cards with Basilisk Collar and Olivia Voldaren and created like just a dominating Jund strategy that was like a blast to see him do it.
That's monstrous.
It's
so
monstrous.
Funny.
It's so fun, but it doesn't feel like overly broken. It just feels like he was at 2 life and stabilized and was able to control the game and win. And it's incredible. I think that's really cool.
I think I need to mention, because this is, normally I let most cards slide by and I'll let people look them up. I think Nightshade Peddler is a card most people have probably already looked up if they didn't know, but that is a 1 in the green, 1/1 human druid with Soul Bond. that kingly mechanic.
Yeah.
As long as Nightshade Peddler is paired with another creature, both creatures have Death Touch. So then the combo that your friend is putting together there is granting Death Touch to either Cunning Spark Mage, which taps to deal a damage, or the famous or infamous Olivia Voldaren, who can, well, rather than turning them into vampires here, is just going to kill them with damage straight up.
I love it. I think it's great. And Nightshade Peddler is like a fine card on its own. He would play Nightshade Peddler, Soul Bond with anything else, and just having a Death Touch blocker is sort of incredible when you need to stabilize against something a little faster than you. I think it's a good card. It forces your opponent to use removal on like a 1/1, which nobody wants to do. I think it's secretly an incredible card for like the aspiring drafter to live the dream.
Yeah, well, in Soulbond, in this particular case, with Death Touch, does lead to some interesting lines, because you do have to engage with the Peddler itself, or, you know, if you trade out with the thing that it is granting Death Touch to, it can just pair up again.
Mm-hmm. And I have to say, like, this cube is full of textless cards and a bunch of other, like, some non-English cards. Soulbond is the biggest nightmare in terms of, like, rules and awkwardness. It is, like, a nightmare mechanic. Like, no one knows how it works. And I had to talk to, like, Bones and a bunch of other people to be like, okay, this is how it works if someone gets confused. Someone thought they could pair with one of my creatures.
Oh, that's interesting.
I was like, no. And we're reading it, like guys on the bodybuilding forum arguing about days of the week. We're just like, this card has reminder text, and just arguing for like 5 minutes, and it's a nightmare. Soulbond is on a couple of cards in the cube, and I like these cards. I love Lightning Mauler. I love Nightshade Peddler and Silverbeard Paladin. I love these cards. They are a nightmare in terms of rules. They kind of suck. Great.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned some of the treatments, because I did want to ask you about that. You do have in your cube a whole bunch of showcase arts. You mentioned a couple non-English things. Some of, to tip my hand, some of my favorite treatments, like the big blocky F&M promos, like the Junior Series type promos. Is that just part of the nostalgic experience for you? Have you had any consideration as far as like player accessibility beyond Soulbond with those?
Yeah, like, no, like I don't. You gotta figure it out. I'm sorry. Like, if you want to play this cube and you want to have a good time, we all have phones. We could figure it out. Like, it's all right. Just, you can Google what Cryptic Command says, or you just ask me, and I'll tell you what Cryptic Command does. And it's not like a cute little test of memory. It's just like, it's partially more nostalgia It's also like part curio collecting. It's also like healing like my inner child. I didn't have any money growing up, and I couldn't afford foil cards, and I always liked them. I coveted them. I think they're cool, and I love promotional cards. It's nostalgia insofar as like there are so many defunct Wizards programs that these cards are a part of, like Arena Leagues, Junior Super Series. Even the FNM promo is like a shadow of what it used to be, and how beautiful some of these cards are. Like Fire Ice again. Shouts out Fire Ice, one of the best cards ever printed.
Yeah.
Or 2 cards, technically, but whatever.
The best 2 cards ever printed is 1 card.
Yeah, it's 1 card. You know, the Tidehauler Sculler in here. I have some newer promos, though I'm shying away from newer Secret Lairs. You know, just fun fact, if you play this cube, and I need to change the version of Pack Rat that's in here, I'm going to do it right now. I used to have this Secret Lair version, and I treated it out for Return to Ravnica original foil, and now all my tokens for Pack Rat in the token box are actual Pack Rat cards. One of them is the Secret Lair version that I just like tossed it in the token
now it's
box.
Just a token, quote
Now
unquote.
it's just a token, yeah, for Pack Rat. But the curio collecting kind of intersects with nostalgia because a lot of these like pre-release cards or FNM cards, like you had to be there. You had to like be there to get, like now, you know, I can buy them on the internet, like shouts out to the internet, but like
shout out
like,
the internet, yeah.
Shout out the internet, but like you had to be there to get these. Also, like these old date stamp promos, like the Sun Titan. The Sun Titan's one of the first promos I ever got. Like not this specific one. I like lost it or something or traded it or whatever, but it's one of the first promos I ever got. Like 10th of July, 2010. It's like a point in time. It is like a reminder of like, oh, I went to a store. I played in the pre-release for M11. I got the Sun Titan. I had an incredible time. These are all points in time for us and like a reminders that like, yeah, we got to get together and play this game, and like you can get cool stuff like this. Or they're reminders that you had to be somewhere to get it. Like my favorite promo in the cube is Core Skyfisher. It is a random common from, I believe, Zendikar. No, I don't want to describe what the card does, but this particular promo has no set symbol, has a watermark of Magic the Gathering in the background, is foil, and says www.magicthegathering.com. It's like a very random promo that was given out, at PAX East like a long time ago. And Bloodthrone Vampire in the cube is also one of these promos, but it unfortunately has a set symbol. But it's a curio. It's whenever I see people draft the cube and they pull this card up and they're like, what is this? I've never seen this. I think it's beautiful. I think it's cool. I think also, like, from the vault foils, they were notoriously pringled and really terrible, but these are all like Frodo's Secret Lairs.
Yeah. They were the different foiling type too. It wasn't even your regular foil stuff.
Absolutely. But like this was Secret Lair when you had to show up and get these. You had to go to your store. Getting your promo like Flame Tongue Kavu at FNM is really sweet. And there are people I know. A friend of mine, MZ, has a still in pack, like a little plastic FNM. I think it's a Psychotog, and it's incredible.
That's so
like
good.
It's still in the package. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. I love this sort of stuff because she got that at some point in her life and has kept it in that little package, and it's been there for more than 15, 20 years or something like that.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I think these are all pieces of history. Like, they've survived through the years and are now in my cube and are being loved and enjoyed and cherished for me.
How have people responded to the project that maybe are newer to the game or that maybe don't have that angle of nostalgia?
I think people who like weren't around for that era, I think they, for the most part, kind of love it. These cards are cool. It's that simple. Some people don't get it, and that's okay because it's like a very different form of playing Magic. It's a very different like tempo, but the people who get it love it. They learn to love like Grey Merchant of Asphodel, which I know is still a popular card, but it's not nearly like what it used to be. When these new players are learning that we call Sakura Tribe Elder Steve, and no one remembers why we call him Steve, or at least I don't. It leads to like fun conversations. It leads to people like learning about the game, about things they didn't know, learning about Olivia Voldaren and like dumb stuff people used to say about the art, and like, you know, I think we all know what I'm talking about. Shouts out Olivia, we love you. When they see like how powerful Voice of Resurgence is, like this card is not played anymore and no one talks about it, but it was taking over formats back then. It was so powerful and so fun, and so like the new player not understanding how powerful this 2-drop is and just getting the game taken over and realizing, oh, I can't cast spells. I have to kill this guy. Like, I adore it.
And it's kind of unique to this environment or like this timeline, right? Because you can't just drop Voice of Resurgence into a modern cube and hope for the best. But here you've given it a chance to relive some of those glory days.
100%. And I think it is. There are cards in here that immediately get removed. Like Pack Rat comes to mind. Today, Eric was playing it in his deck and was like, oh, this card is like a duress. This card is a duress for me right now because it is just getting my opponent's best removal out of their hand to kill it. He was never able to activate it because those of us who were playing have played Twilight before and know that if Pack Rat goes off, like, it's over. You're done. Like, pack it in.
I get it. I mean, I was playing Standard in that season for sure. And that was one that if your opponent resolved a Pack Rat, you had to engage right then. Or
absolutely, or it was over. They dropped the land and were just passed, and you're like, I'm dead. I can't do anything.
It's over.
It's over. I mean, there's some that I keep that are newer, like the Thalia, which is the Steve Argyle art that I just think it's beautiful. I think it's like a wonderful, gorgeous card, and that's vibes based. That's me just being like, I like it, so it's staying in.
Well, I did want to check something on your design sensibility with this too. How do you like to think of power level here? I like that you labeled it on your overview like title tracks, some of these headliners.
I think the title tracks are more for like, this is what you can expect in the cube, like Birthing Pod, banned in Modern. I think still for whatever reason, like free Birthing Pod.
Well, they keep printing creatures at every mana value, so Birthing Pod keeps getting better.
Yeah, true. I think it's... Okay,
it's probably fine.
It's probably
that's a different conversation.
It's fine. Let us have it. I'll play Modern. I'll buy Magic cards. Please, just let me play I'm very passionate about Birthing Pod because the last Modern deck I played was banned, and it was Birthing Pod, and I felt terrible. And I was like, I'm done with this game. But Stormblood Berserker is one of my favorite cards in the cube. It just gives you an idea of like what to expect for the feeling of the cube. Like, these cards are, I think, very powerful. I think very evocative of the era, but they like are across an entire span of time in Magic. Like, Sower of Temptation is like the oldest one on this title tracks list, and it is like insanely powerful in the cube and so fun to play. And like, I've died to Sower of Temptation. Well, not to Sower, but to the creature, like, it stole.
To your creature.
To my creature a few times, and that's, like, fun, and I love it. Yeah, these title tracks just give you sort of a feeling for what to expect. And for those that know, and for those that were around, it makes you excited.
So it's not like, this is not like a power level benchmark necessarily.
No.
This is more just like, here's some of what you can expect. Here's kind of the player's guide, the smattering of artwork.
And there are power outliers all throughout this cube. And because of that, removal is plentiful. There are plenty of sweepers. There are plenty of very cheap or permanent removal, like Path to Exile, or even like Pillar of Flame is kind of weak, but is really great against previously mentioned Voice of Resurgence.
Yeah.
I've upped the removal, and I just keep some of the power outliers. Like, something that has been sort of sticking in my craw for a long time is, yes, like Batterskull is one of the most, like, probably the most powerful card in the cube. Especially if you can get your hands on Stoneforge Mystic. But I think it's like stuck in my craw because I think it's too strong. I think it's too hard to answer, but it is so hard for me to cut because it's like so evocative of the era.
It's emblematic.
It's emblematic. So there are power outliers. So the cube kind of turns into, sometimes, can you take a good number of power outliers? But if you're playing with people who know what they're doing, you're not going to get them because everyone's taking those power outliers too. And then it's, can I build a deck that can survive if I don't draw these power outliers? Like Hellrider is a power outlier, but you have to build a deck that works with Hellrider. It was soft banned from the cube for a long time, but it's back, and I think it's like in a good spot. It's still powerful, but you have to build a deck that works with it. I think Inferno Titan and Grave Titan are in the same way, where like you have to get to 6. You have to figure out a way to like get to 6 mana, which is possible, and not die when the cube is very aggressive and has ways to answer these spells either through counter magic or just removal, or not caring about Inferno Titan because you're just going to cast Living Death right after and then they're dead, you know? You know, I've personally felt the joy, and I want other people to feel the joy of Living Death into Grey Merchant of Asphodel and every black creature in your graveyard. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. And even a fair Grey Merchant on 5 for, let's say, Devotion 3 feels incredible. It feels good.
I mean, Theros was one of the earliest sets I drafted. I have experienced all forms of Grey Merchant.
Yeah, I love it. I love Theros. It seems like people don't really like it. I was talking to Annie, shouts out Annie again, that she was just like, I hate those. I really hate the designs, and I get it. But it's led to some really nostalgic cards for me. Like, I do love Devotion. I do love, it's like a little parasitic, sure, but I think the sprinkles that I have in here feel fine and feel good.
We've talked a lot about nostalgia. Like, as I mentioned, for me, that was a very early set. So every time I see one of those cards, it's like, I remember, I mean, to go all the way back to the start of our conversation, I remember what it smelled like in that game store.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember sitting down across from people who had, at that time, even decades of experience over me.
Yeah.
And, and walking into these horrible misplays on my part of like learning the game with these cards. So like then to come back to them and see them again in a different light is, it's refreshing in a way.
I'm glad. I think if you were able to draft a deck and cast Mogus's Marauder and attack in with your opponent can do nothing about it, it feels incredible. It feels so fun and so good. I would love for people to realize, like, on its face, a creature like Nightveil Spectre, which is a 2/3 with flying, with like hybrid blue-black pips, 3 of those. It is like Ragavan back then, and it was terrifying, and you will see that it is terrifying. You do not want this card to hit you at all. It feels terrible to get hit by Nightveil Spectre, but it is very castable, very powerful, and like is one of those cards that gets removed very quickly. And this card you will not see in any legacy decks, anything. No one talks about this card, but I love having a home for this card when it was a real beater back in the day.
You didn't see me shudder when you mentioned the card name. I remember that being played alongside Master of Waves in those days.
I had Master in
not
the
here,
cube.
yeah.
Oh. Master does not work in the cube, unfortunately. It just doesn't. It's not good enough. If I broke Singleton on it, maybe. But I feel like I'd be forcing it too much. I really like Master of Waves. I love that card. But yes, Nightveil Spectre into Master of Waves. Especially if you're playing like your opponent's red, you're just like, yeah, just deal with it. Like, do whatever you want.
Nothing to do.
Yeah. I absolutely love that. You'll see like some heavy hitters that everyone knows, like Bloodbraid Elf, absolutely. I think Qasali Pride Mage is really cool. I mean, as always, like Deathrite Shaman, Banned in Legacy, very fair in Twilight. It's just like a mana dork, but can take over the game if the game goes long, and you're just like, I need a way to kill my opponent without attacking it. And I think just giving these people, these creatures, these spells, these cards, these things, a home again and a place to instill fear or joy or nostalgia and make you remember where you were when you first cast these spells.
This is not so much a question, but I'm just enjoying as you're talking about this, the sense of, in a way, this is kind of like opening your binder, like showing off your collection of like, hey, here's these cool things that are markers of these experiences I've had. And then getting to welcome other people into that by the vehicle of Cube as a game. So it's not just, hey, let me show you this cool thing that I've experienced, but let me bring you along into it. And I'm just hearing that so much as you're expressing it here.
Yeah, I think that's like 100% on the mark with what I'm trying to do with this cube. It is like a binder of this era, of these feelings, of this like style of game, and just being like, I want you to live this. I want you to ride the wave of playing a Brimaz and just like pre-Adeline still kill your opponent with a 3/4. I want you to do this. I want you to like use Flicker Wisp to blank your opponent's blocker and get in for the kill. Like, that feels good. I want you to cast Restoration Angel on your Blade Splicer and just just go to town, have a good time, crush it. These interactions don't happen anymore. I want a place for them to happen.
Maggie, can you speak to how your relationship to Magic has changed over time and how that's impacted this particular project?
I have purchased less actual Magic product. I have realized I'm like really busy in my like normal life. I'm married. I have a very busy, stressful job. I have many friendships, many like relationships that I have to keep up, and it's made me triage or prioritize the things that are really important to me. And for me, I'm happy just having this one cube. I'm happy just having this binder, these like experiences, and I'm happy with that. And I'm also happy showing up to a friend's house to draft 100 cloud posts, which shout out Paul has like built, like some clown shoes or fair Magic cube or legacy cube, that I'm strictly keeping it in the I like cube and I like Magic and I want to engage with it on my own time with open arms.
That's great. I know that's something that a lot of people are wrestling with, so it's encouraging to hear how you've approached that and that you're still able to find an outlet in something like this.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, as we are kind of trending toward wrapping up, I do want to ask, what advice would you want to share with other designers as they're considering their own projects?
I think a lot of people will get like as much feedback as possible before they get something to the table. I think you've just got to send it, because it's a bit of a statement to say, I did this because I like it. And Magic players can be inquisitive, can challenge you, can think that they could do it better, or they might be smarter than you and have like a better idea of how to do things. But it's a statement, and it is like confident and strong and good to say, I did this because I like it and I think it's cool. I want to hear what you think about it, but I want to send it and have you try it, because we get to spend this time together and play this game, and this is like me. This is a part of me that I'm showing to you and something that I want to share. Don't be afraid to just send it, to put it together, whatever pile of crap that you have, like, just send it. Like, put Fourth Aerlingus in your Nostalgia Cube. Just do it. Send it. And then make someone mad at you. And, like, now you have a story. Now you have built a relationship. Now you have, like, built memories with this, like, wonderful game.
That's so good. I love it. Well, Maggie, I do get to ask here before we actually wrap up one of my favorite questions, which is, if you could have any card printed as a promo, what card would you pick, and who would you have do the illustration?
I would love a promo, and there already is a promo, but I would love H.R. Giger to do a version of Skin Render if he was still alive. Rest in peace to the king, H.R. Giger. Because Skin Render is clearly like an Alien ripoff. I would love for him to do something incredible. Just being like, yeah, I own it. This is my thing. You're stealing from me, and I'm going to make something way better than any of these artists could ever do with your Alien ripoff creature. Just rest in peace, H.R. Giger. We miss you. Come back.
So you're saying, like, let's go back to the OG biomech horror painter. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Horror may be the wrong word, but, like, it's an incredibly deep style.
Yeah, absolutely. The guy who originated Alien, like, the guy who came up with the art style, including all the weird stuff that I can't talk about on this podcast.
Thank you, and yes.
Yeah, shouts out H.R. Giger. Do a Skin Render for me, please, from the afterlife.
Outstanding. Well, Maggie, this has been a treat. I'm so glad we got the chance to sit down and chat through so much of this. What other shout outs do you want to make sure you hit before we before we wrap up?
Okay, yeah. Shouts out Philly Cube community again. Holly, I love you so much. Shouts out to you. Shouts out Cade, the coolest guy on the planet. Shouts out Oklahoma. Shouts out Parker. If you didn't get a shout out, I'm sorry, but I love you, and I don't want to do like 10 minutes of shout out. But I love you guys so much. I love Cube. If you see me at an event, say what's up. I'm gonna be at Lunchbox at the end of this month. Me and the homies are gonna roll up with propeller hats, and we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna draft. It's gonna be fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, if folks do want to get in touch with you and they're not going to be at the at the event here at the end of the month, where would be the best place for us to point them?
You could follow me on Cube Cobra, where I do updates to Twilight, and I follow people and love seeing your cube. I am on Discord. I'm in the wider Cube Discord, but I'm not active in it. Just join the Philly Cube community. Even if you don't live here, come visit, come hang out. I'm active there. I'm a mod there. If you want to talk to me, you can always DM me. If you want to like talk Cube, talk anything, I'm here for you. I love you very much. And that's me talking to everyone. Go to phillymtgcube.com, join the Discord, come hang out. It's a great time.
What can I say after that when you're like, hey, everyone, I love you, I care about you, come on. Like, how do I follow that up?
I love you too.
There you go. Maggie, this has been a treat. Thank you so much for being part of this, and I'm looking forward to more of it.
Thank you so much, Kate. I appreciate you.
Maggie, quickly, let me not do quickly. Maggie, I did want to ask if you could speak briefly to how I keep doing briefly, stop. Maggie, would you be willing to speak to some of how your relationship to magic has changed over time and how that's impacted this particular project?
Yeah, and I'll keep it brief. I think. All right, let's take that one more time. I'm sorry, I had to mess with you on that one.
That's so good.